Over the past few seasons, the Washington Wizards have lacked direction. Sure, they did have all-star Bradley Beal and some quality players around him, but their ceiling was the first round exit or another date with the NBA lottery. What made matters worse is that the Wizards ultimately gave Bradley Beal no trade clause, limiting the amount of value that they could ultimately get out of him if they chose to move in a different direction. However, even with a worse return, the Wizards are starting their rebuild off on a good note, getting younger, richer in assets, and setting a stage for the younger guys to develop. Here's just how Jordan Poole, Kuzma, and the young gems of this team will help usher in a new wave in Washington. But before we begin, be sure to leave a like on the video, as each like makes a tremendous difference for the channel, and be sure to sub to the channel for even more content like this. The Wizards made many headlines this offseason for a series of trades that they made and their decisions in the NBA draft, with the biggest move being trading their franchise player, Bradley Beal. Beal was finally traded to the Phoenix Suns in exchange for both Chris Paul and Landry Shamet, but the Wizards ended up doing well by flipping CP3 in a package centered around Jordan Poole and picks. From the Warriors' perspective, moving off of Poole ensured that they wouldn't cross the second tax apron for the duration of his deal, and as for Washington, you now have a promising 24-year-old player that will remind everyone of just how good he actually is. Poole has gotten a bad rap as of late for his poor play in the 2023 NBA playoffs, but we definitely can't overlook the good of his Golden State tenure. He just set career highs in points per game and assists per game last season after signing his $140 million extension, and just as importantly, he stepped up big time when Steph Curry was out. He averaged 26 points and 5 assists in 26 games without Steph last season, in which he scored at least 25 points in 15 of those games. Also, just a year ago, he was the third leading scorer on a team that literally won an NBA championship, proving pivotal in each round in the Western Conference. Through just his first 3 career playoff games, he averaged 28 points and 5 assists on 67% shooting, 59% from 3, and 81% from the free throw line, and it was a huge reason why the Warriors took a commanding 3-0 lead against the Denver Nuggets. In the Memphis series, he would average 18, 4, and 4 on 47% from the field, 94% from the free throw line, and dropped a critical 31 points in Game 1, where the Warriors won by merely a single point. Additionally, Poole was sensational in the Western Conference Finals, as even though he was the 4th leading scorer on the team, he would shoot 64% from the field, 40% from 3, and 100% from the free throw line. Jordan Poole is far from the perfect player, as he's due for head-scratching plays from time to time and proved to be inconsistent at points last season. However, I'd argue that the inconsistencies we saw from him were due to a lack of continuity in role. At times, he was starting in the absence of Steph and given a large green light. At times, he was brought off the bench when Steph returned and was given a more conservative role offensively, and other times, he and Steph started together. But in Washington, Poole will most definitely be the number 1 option and will be able to put his scoring prowess on display. He's one of the most gifted guards in the entire league when it comes to his handle, footwork, finishing ability, outside shots, and adaptability off the ball, and it shouldn't be a shocker to anyone if he's top 10 in scoring next season. Additionally, Jordan Poole's maturity and leadership are things that almost never get talked about, but are reasons why he will be a great leader in Washington. Poole handled the Draymond punch saga perfectly as he could have throughout the season, and has been quick to downplay the matter despite him being asked that question numerous times. He's already reached out and spoken glowingly about his future teammates, and that's why I'm confident that this 24-year-old will thrive in Washington. alongside Jordan Poole on this team will be Kyle Kuzma. And it's nice that Kuz has been able to return to the team after many people thinking that he would bounce in free agency. Kuz is another player who sacrificed his stats in order for a veteran team to win a title when he did so with the LA Lakers in 2020. Moreover, Kuz has been killing it in Washington, averaging 19, 8, and 4 over the past 2 seasons and setting a career high at 21 points per game last season. He's a mobile 6'9" power forward who did a ton of his damage off ball last season, can handle the ball, runs the floor well, and can attack closeouts and finish in the paint. That's the type of offensive versatility you want in the front court from an adaptable 4, and given that he's only going to be 28 by season starts, he won't be declining anytime soon. Another frontcourt player we most definitely need to talk about is Deni Avdija, who's a former lottery pick who both Kuz and Poole have raved about this offseason. Through his first 3 NBA seasons, his offensive package isn't as fledged out as I thought it would be, but I have seen many encouraging signs for a year 4 breakout. At 6'9", Deni has really impressed me defensively as a player that can hang not only with wings, but also with other perimeter threats as well. Due to his size, high IQ, and nimbleness, he has the ability to take on various defensive assignments, such as when he was tasked with guarding Jordan Poole and Draymond Green in that same game, and often turns defense into offense. Offensively, he's a good cutter, good at pushing the pace in transition, is an effective playmaker in that area, and can even take it himself and finish at the rim. The only things that bother me about Deni are his lack of an outside shot and his lack of confidence. 3-point shooting has been his Achilles heel even entering the NBA draft, and the best he's ever shot from 3 has been 32% in 2022. If he ever wants to better mold his offensive game, he'll have to improve on that front, as his outside shot will keep defenses honest and will also open up so many aspects of his game that I think are actually really underutilized, especially the great potential he shows as a playmaker. And in terms of his confidence, the losses of Porzingis and Beal, among others, should open more doors of opportunity for him to be more aggressive. And the Wizards, throughout the season, have shown to be pretty effective when he has been. In the Porzingis trade, the Wizards were also able to get Tice Jones of the Memphis Grizzlies, a 6'2" guard lauded for practically doing everything right on the basketball floor. The younger guys on this team will obviously prefer to have good looks created for them and a guard that can stretch the floor. And that's exactly what they're getting out of Tice Jones. He's a guard that virtually doesn't turn the ball over, leading the league in assist-to-turnover ratio over the past few seasons, and in Ja's absence last season, averaged 16, 8, and 4 on 50% from the field and 41% from 3. Last but definitely not least, we need to highlight the number 7 pick of the NBA draft, which was Bilal Coulibaly, Wemby's former teammate, who's 6'6" and has a monstrous 7'2" wingspan. Coulibaly has a lot of work to do on the offensive end of the floor, but he's already showing that he'll be a disruptor on the defensive end. He uses his aforementioned length and athleticism to be a disruptive in passing lanes, cover a ton of ground on recoveries, and has demonstrated being a great rim protector. He has 5 blocks in 3 Summer League games. The chase down block he had against the Spurs shows how versatile he can be on that end. Again, he needs to bolster his offensive package to take that next step, but he's only 18 by the time of this recording and has all the time in the world to reach his full potential. The Wizards have other young players like Patrick Baldwin II, Tristan Vucevic, and Corey Kispert, among others, but the point is that the Wizards are headed in the right direction. They're not heavily overpaying for good veterans just to miss the playoffs, but they're setting themselves up for a younger core of players to develop at their own pace. It doesn't matter if the Wizards aren't great next year, as losing only puts them in position to get a high lottery pick. And the only thing that truly matters is that the young guys on this team are developing. With that being said, let me know your thoughts on the Washington Wizards in the comment section down below. What are your expectations for Jordan Poole and co next season? And also, let me know your expectations for this team long term. Be sure to leave a like on the video, as each like makes a tremendous difference for the channel, and be sure to sub to the channel for even more content like this. Hope to see you all in the next one, and stay tuned.